Did you realize that some of the fruits you consume on a daily basis may be detrimental to your health without you realizing it? Our bodies alter with age, and foods that were once safe can now be harmful, particularly if you're on medication or are dealing with diseases like diabetes, heart disease, or renal problems. A 72-year-old guy just last month suffered from extreme dizziness and forgetfulness due to a fruit he had been eating carelessly for years. He's not by himself. Unbeknownst to them, many elderly people eat fruits that may be seriously endangering their health. In order to keep you healthy and prevent needless dangers, we're exposing 7 fruits that seniors should never consume today, along with delicious and safe substitutes. You might be surprised by a few of these, and the 7th item is something that many people consume daily without considering the possible risks. Tell me where you're watching from in the comments section before we get started. If you haven't already, please subscribe so you don't miss important health recommendations like these. I love watching how far our community has come. Let's begin with the first fruit on our list, which may seem innocuous to elders but can be poisonous. First, the hidden hazard of starfruit. Starfruit may appear to be an innocent tropical delicacy, but for elderly people, particularly those with kidney problems, it can be exceedingly harmful, even fatal. The neurotoxic caramboxin, which is easily filtered out by healthy kidneys, is the concealed threat. Unbeknownst to them, 1 in 3 elderly people has diminished renal function. This toxin can cause coma, convulsions, vomiting, dizziness, and confusion when it accumulates in the blood. John, a 72-year-old Florida resident, believed that by including starfruit in his daily smoothies, he was making a healthy decision. Within a week, he started to feel extremely tired, dizzy, and have sudden memory lapses. He initially thought it was a natural aspect of growing older, but when his symptoms grew worse, he passed out at home. After his family sent him to the hospital, medical professionals found that the starfruit had caused serious neurotoxic consequences because of his kidney illness, which was modest but unidentified. He said once he recovered, "I didn't know starfruit could do this." This is not a unique instance. According to the National Kidney Foundation, a single starfruit can seriously harm a senior's neurological system if they have kidney disease. The part that's frightening, many people wait until it's too late to realize that their kidneys are having problems. Reduced kidney function may be indicated by symptoms including weariness, swelling ankles, or changes in urine. Asian pears, which have a crisp, juicy feel without the hazards, or dragon fruit, which has a similar exotic allure but is perfectly safe, are good alternatives to starfruit if you like tropical fruits. These substitutes are accessible and won't endanger your health. Have you or a loved one ever experienced a starfruit reaction? Tell us in the comments section. Let's move on to the second fruit, which appears to be completely healthy, but can really induce severe blood sugar surges and even pose a choking hazard to elderly people. 2. The blood sugar trap. Grapes. Many people consider grapes to be a quick, nutritious, sweet, and refreshing snack. However, they can be shockingly harmful for older adults, particularly for those who are managing diabetes or pre-diabetes, which affects over half of Americans over 65. The problem? Natural sugar is abundant in grapes. 4 sugar cubes worth of sugar is found in just 1 cup of grapes. They can result in fast blood sugar spikes because to their high glycemic index, which can induce exhaustion, lightheadedness, and long-term issues like nerve damage and visual issues. Chicago resident Patricia, 68, believed she was making a wise decision by choosing a bowl of grapes instead of afternoon sweets. Her blood sugar became erratic in a matter of weeks, impacting not just her mood and energy levels but also her vision. During a follow-up visit, she revealed, "I never thought that something as simple as grapes could have such a strong effect on me." But there are other risks besides sugar. Elderly people are also at great risk of choking on grapes. Choking becomes more likely as we age because our swallowing reflex slows down. Grapes can readily become lodged in the throat due to their smooth, slick surface, particularly when consumed whole. Over the past 5 years, there has been a 30% increase in senior grape choking episodes, according to the National Safety Council. What is a safer substitute then? Try fresh berries like raspberries or blueberries if you want fruit as a snack. They are high in antioxidants that promote brain health and contain less sugar. Melon pieces are another excellent choice. They offer a comparable sweetness with improved portion control. Here's a simple rule. If you have to have grapes, limit yourself to no more than 6 pieces at a time and always cut them into quarters to lower the chance of choking. They can also reduce the absorption of sugar and avoid blood sugar rises when paired with a protein source, such as cheese. Have you ever eaten grapes and had unanticipated consequences? Leave a comment with your ideas. Let's go on to the third fruit, which is highly regarded for its health advantages but can actually seriously impair your ability to digest food and the efficacy of medications. 3. The acid reflux cause is oranges. Oranges appear to be the ideal fruit for boosting immunity because they are high in vitamin C and antioxidants. However, there are unanticipated concerns for seniors, particularly for those who have tooth sensitivity, acid reflux, or drug problems. Oranges' high acidity is one of their main problems. Acid reflux and heartburn are caused by a weakening of the muscle that prevents stomach acid from ascending into the esophagus as we age. Citrus fruits are one of the main causes of acid reflux, which affects more than 60% of persons over 60. A 73-year-old Minnesota woman named Margaret believed that drinking a glass of fresh orange juice every morning would strengthen her immune system. Instead, she woke up in the middle of the night with a burning feeling in her throat and excruciating heartburn. She eventually resumed sleeping through the night after cutting off oranges. She acknowledged that before her doctor made the connection, she had never associated oranges with acid reflux. However, there is an additional hidden danger. More than 50 common drugs taken by seniors, including antidepressants, cholesterol meds, and blood pressure medications, can be affected by oranges. Eating oranges or drinking orange juice within 2 hours of taking these medications may alter their effectiveness and jeopardize your health, according to the Mayo Clinic. Additionally, oranges might weaken dental enamel, which deteriorates with age. Over time, damage, enamel loss, and increased tooth sensitivity can result from prolonged contact to acid. What is the other option then? To receive your recommended daily intake of vitamin C, you don't need oranges. Try red bell peppers instead. They have more vitamin C than oranges but don't have the same acidity. Kiwi is another excellent choice. It's nutrient-dense and gentle on the stomach. Use these safety precautions if you must have oranges. Never consume them while you're not feeling well. Avoid ingesting orange juice within 2 hours of taking medication and dilute it with water in a 1:1 ratio to lessen its acidity. Have you ever eaten oranges and then had acid reflux or other digestive issues? Tell us in the comments section. Let's go on to the fourth fruit, which is sometimes referred to as a superfood, but may actually be ruining your weight and interfering with your medicine. Fourth, avocados are a secret source of fat. Although avocados are frequently hailed as a superfood that is full of nutrients and healthy fats, seniors may experience negative effects from consuming too much of a good thing. Although they provide heart-healthy monounsaturated fats, they are also very high in calories, which can cause unintended weight gain, drug interactions, and even unanticipated allergic reactions in older persons. For some seniors, 240 calories from a medium avocado is almost as much as a full meal. As we age, our metabolism slows down, and we need fewer calories, according to the American Heart Association. Regular avocado consumption without portion control can result in gradual weight gain, which further strains the heart, joints, and general mobility. Robert, a 75-year-old Denver resident, began eating avocado toast every morning because he thought it was a healthier option for breakfast. He gained 12 pounds in just 3 months, which made daily tasks more challenging and exacerbated his joint pain. He said, "I didn't realize how calorie-dense avocados were until my doctor pointed it out, even though I thought I was eating healthy. But there are other issues than weight gain. Additionally, some drugs, such as blood thinners, blood pressure meds, and even some antidepressants, may interact with avocados. Avocados' high vitamin K content can increase the risk of severe blood clots by decreasing the effectiveness of blood thinners like warfarin. Avocados have many health benefits, but eating too much of them can also alter potassium levels, which can be dangerous for people who have heart or renal issues. Avocado allergies are another unexpected concern, especially for elderly people with latex sensitivity. Research indicates that approximately 6% of those over 65 suffer from a latex allergy. Additionally, even if you've eaten avocados without incident in the past, they can cause allergic reactions since they contain protein that is comparable to latex. From little stomach discomfort and itching to serious respiratory problems, symptoms can vary widely. What is the answer then? Try heart-healthy substitutes like olive oil, or modest portions of nuts, particularly walnuts and almonds, which offer comparable nutrients without the drug interactions. If you prefer the flavor and texture of avocados but wish to avoid the dangers, eat no more than a quarter of an avocado each day if you do eat them. Always combine it with other foods, and keep an eye out for any odd reactions. After consuming avocados, have you observed any changes in your weight, digestion, or medicine effectiveness? Leave a comment with your experience. Let's proceed to the fifth fruit now. It's a summertime staple, but it can also cause blood sugar spikes and upset your body's fluid balance. 5. Watermelon. The disruptor of fluid balance. Many people believe that watermelon is the ideal summertime food, naturally sweet, revitalizing, and hydrating. However, seniors may find this fruit shockingly difficult, particularly if they have diabetes, kidney problems, or heart disease. Even though watermelon contains more than 90% water, older persons should avoid it due to its high natural sugar content and tendency to upset fluid balance. Its high glycemic index is one of the main issues. Watermelon can raise blood sugar levels equally as quickly as soda, even though it is primarily water. The American Diabetes Association states that 2 cups of watermelon can have an impact on blood sugar levels comparable to those of a can of soda, making it a dangerous option for elderly people with diabetes or insulin resistance. Betty, a 78-year-old Arizonan, believed she was eating watermelon every day to stay hydrated throughout the summer and was doing the right thing. But a few days later, she started to have shortness of breath and strange leg edema. After she was taken to the hospital, physicians found that her body was holding on to too much fluid, which was causing her heart to work more difficult. She was unaware that the high potassium and water content of watermelon can upset the body's fluid balance, particularly in people using diuretics or heart drugs. Another unnoticed risk for elderly people with kidney illness is watermelon. Watermelon's high potassium content can be hard for aged kidneys to manage, which can cause heart rhythm abnormalities, muscle weakness, and in extreme situations, heart failure. Overconsumption of foods high in potassium, such as watermelon, can discreetly endanger the health of persons over 65, as 40% of them have impaired kidney function. So how can one stay hydrated and rejuvenated in a safer way? For a naturally hydrating alternative without the added sugar, consider cucumber slices infused with water instead of watermelon. Another excellent option are frozen berry chunks, which provide sweetness and aid in better blood sugar regulation. Here is a safety recommendation to follow. If you are a watermelon lover, avoid eating it late at night to prevent fluid retention, limit yourself to no more than a mouthful per serving, and always eat it with a protein source like cheese or almonds to decrease the absorption of sugar. Have you ever experienced blood sugar spikes or bloating after consuming watermelon? Tell us in the comments section. Let's move on to fruit number 6, which many elderly people consume to aid with digestion, but may perhaps be doing more damage than good. Papaya is the 6th food that challenges the digestive system. Papain, a naturally occurring enzyme that aids in the breakdown of proteins, is found in papaya and is frequently suggested as a digestive aid. Although some people may benefit from papaya, elderly may have unanticipated health hazards, such as allergic responses, digestive discomfort, and hazardous drug combinations. The way papaya interacts with popular drugs is one of the main issues. The FDA has warned that papaya may interact with diabetes drugs, blood thinners, and even some antibiotics. Papain can intensify blood thinner effects, raising the possibility of uncontrollable bleeding and bruising. Papaya can change how the body absorbs insulin and diabetic drugs, which might cause unpredictable blood sugar swings for seniors who are monitoring their blood sugar levels. To aid in digestion, Helen, a 71-year-old from San Diego, began consuming papaya on a daily basis. Within weeks, she became aware that her blood sugar levels were becoming more difficult to regulate and that her blood pressure medicine was not functioning as effectively. She talked to her doctor about it and found that papaya was affecting how well her medication worked, which made it more difficult for her body to control important processes. The link between papaya and latex allergy is another unspoken risk. Even if they had previously consumed papaya without incident, research indicates that 35% of elderly people with latex allergies also experience reactions to it. The initial symptoms of these allergic responses may include moderate mouth irritation and stomach pain. However, in extreme situations, they may result in edema, trouble breathing, or even anaphylaxis. Lastly, although papain aids in the digestion of certain foods, it can also irritate the lining of the stomach in elderly individuals who have sensitive stomachs or acid reflux, resulting in bloating, acid reflux, and stomach pain. After the age of 60, several of my elderly patients have complained that papaya no longer aids in their digestion, but instead makes them more uncomfortable. What is a better substitute for intestinal health than try probiotic-rich meals, like fermented veggies or plain yogurt in place of papaya? These support digestive health without conflicting with prescription drugs. Another great choice is ginger tea. It naturally lessens nausea and bloating and is kind to the stomach. Take note of these safety precautions if you enjoy papaya. To test your tolerance, start with a modest portion, 2 to 3 little pieces, and never eat it on an empty stomach. You should also ask your doctor or pharmacist about any potential drug interactions. Have you ever eaten papaya and had any unforeseen negative effects? Tell us in the comments section. The last fruit on our list is one that many elderly people eat on a daily basis under the mistaken impression that it is healthful, yet it may be endangering their hearts. 7. Bananas. The risk of potassium excess. One of the most popular fruits consumed worldwide, bananas are prized for their high potassium content, ease of use, and inherent sweetness. However, excessive potassium intake in older adults can be a major concern, particularly for individuals with heart disease, kidney illness, or certain drugs. Although potassium is necessary for heart and muscle health, our kidneys' ability to control potassium levels declines with age. About 40% of persons over 65 actually have impaired kidney function, and they frequently aren't aware of it. Hyperkalemia is a hazardous illness that can result from the body's inability to adequately eliminate excess potassium. It can induce muscle weakness, irregular heartbeats, and even abrupt cardiac arrest. Texas resident James, 74, has been eating 2 bananas every day for years because he thought they were a fantastic source of energy. He had unexpected weakness, dizziness, and a pounding heart one morning. His potassium levels were dangerously high, placing him at risk for a serious heart arrhythmia, according to the hospital's specialists. His physician recommended that he immediately reduce his intake of bananas. In addition to their potassium content, bananas contain a lot of natural sugar, which can cause blood sugar rises, particularly in older adults with diabetes or prediabetes. Because bananas are mostly composed of fast-digesting carbs, they can raise blood sugar levels quickly, followed by an energy slump that leaves you feeling even more exhausted than before. What is a better option then? Try berries like blueberries or strawberries if you're searching for a fruit that will give you more energy, as they are low in potassium and still include important vitamins and antioxidants. Consider baked sweet potatoes if you like the texture of bananas. They provide fiber and slow-releasing carbohydrates that assist maintain stable blood sugar levels. Use these precautions if you still want to eat bananas. Avoid eating them on an empty stomach, limit your intake to half a banana per serving, and consult your doctor if you're taking any medications that alter potassium levels, such as blood pressure or diuretics. Have you ever eaten bananas and felt exhausted or had your heart race? Tell us in the comments section. After discussing each of the 7 fruits, let's conclude with some important lessons to help you choose fruits more wisely and safely as you become older. Why older adults should pay closer attention to fruits. We've discussed 7 harmful fruits that can seriously jeopardize the health of elderly people. But you may be asking yourself, shouldn't fruits be healthy? Despite the fact that fruits are a great source of vitamins and nutrients, not all fruits are made equal, particularly as we get older. How our bodies absorb fruits differently as we age. Our digestive system becomes more sensitive as we age, our metabolism slows down, and our organs, particularly the liver, heart, and kidneys, have to work harder to process the food we eat. In your 60s and beyond, several fruits that were perfectly acceptable in your 30s or 40s can suddenly start to cause issues. Reduced renal function. Over time, your kidneys' inherent efficiency naturally decreases. This implies that individuals might have trouble removing poisons like caramboxin from starfruit or too much potassium from foods like avocados, watermelon, and bananas. heightened susceptibility to sugar. High-sugar fruits like watermelon and grapes are more harmful than they appear, since many elderly people acquire diabetes or insulin resistance. Weaker digestion. As we age, our stomachs produce less acid, which makes it more difficult to digest acidic foods like papaya and oranges. This can result in reflux and other stomach problems. Interactions with medication. Certain fruits may have an effect on the daily drugs taken by many elderly people. For instance, oranges and papayas can cause major problems since they interfere with blood pressure and blood thinners. Being aware of these changes does not require you to completely avoid fruit, but it does require you to choose and prepare your meals more carefully. The healthy eating myth. Why isn't all that's natural safe? Many elderly people assume that something must be healthy just because it is natural. However, a food is not always safe for everyone just because it is entire and unprocessed. Despite being natural, honey still contains sugar and, like processed sweets, can raise blood sugar levels. Although nuts are a natural food, eating too much of them can cause weight gain and digestive problems because they are high in calories and fat. Although salt is a naturally occurring mineral, excessive use can lead to renal issues and high blood pressure. The same is true of fruits. Particularly during different phases of life, what works for one individual might not work for another. Wise fruit selections, what you ought to consume instead. Let's talk about the fruits that are beneficial for seniors, rather than the fruits to avoid. Low in potassium and acid. The finest options are safe for kidney and heart health, gentle on digestion to prevent reflux and stomach problems, and low in sugar to minimize blood sugar rises. These are a few of the top fruit options for elderly people. Berries. Blueberries, raspberries, and strawberries, rich in antioxidants, low in sugar, and beneficial to brain function. Apples. Excellent for digestion, low in sugar and high in fiber. Simply make sure you eat them chopped or thoroughly. Pears. They resemble apples but are softer, which facilitates chewing and digestion. Kiwi, rich in vitamin C, but without orange's acidity. Melon, honeydew, and cantaloupe, delicious and hydrating but lower in sugar than watermelon. You can still enjoy critical nutrients and delectable flavors without endangering your health by selecting the correct fruits. Making safer, more intelligent decisions. Our metabolism slows down as we age, our organs have to work harder, and something that used to be a safe snack can now have unanticipated consequences. The good news is that there are always tasty and safe substitutes. Small adjustments can have a significant impact on your daily mood, whether it's picking berries over grapes to lower blood sugar, substituting watermelon for cucumbers to stay hydrated, or replacing oranges with bell peppers for vitamin C. You cannot afford to take excessive chances with your health. You may keep enjoying the foods you love, while safeguarding your health by making educated decisions and paying attention to your body. Please leave a comment if you've observed that the effects of some fruits have changed as you've aged. Others in our community might benefit from your insight. Remember to subscribe for additional senior-specific health advice if you found this material useful. Keep yourself informed, stay in control, and above all, stay healthy. Your future self will appreciate that you made wise decisions now.